Welcome to the Park City Market Talk webinar for September 2019. I'm Ron Wilstein, a broker at Keller Williams Luxury Properties here in Park City, Utah.
And I'm Dean DeLeon, a buyer's consultant on the Wilstein team.
Well, the seasons are changing as our background image shows, and it's time to start thinking about skiing. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We just had the Kimball Arts Festival here on Main Street, and I was out of town, but my kids called me and talked about some artwork that they sent me pictures of, tried to convince me to buy it. I didn't, but there was some nice stuff there.
Yeah, from what I hear, there was some nice stuff there. I didn't get the opportunity to make it up there myself, but I did have a few clients in town that picked up a couple of pieces that they're going to put in their new houses.
Excellent. Well, it's always fun. I missed it next year. Anyway, topics for today begin with an update on the Park City real estate market. We'll look at what's selling, what's not, and where prices are going.
We're going to take a look at what the buyers and sellers do before the ski season.
And that's our focus for today. Let's take a look at the Park City real estate market, see what's been selling and where prices are going. The market remains mixed, and so we need to look at this in specific categories. Overall, there's been 1,236 sales over the last year. That consists of homes, condominiums, and vacant land combined, and that's all real estate brokerages combined. That's down 9% or 120 sales from the year before.
And we'll take a closer look at that here with the year-to-year comparison of closed sales. The red bar represents September 2018 to August 2019, whereas the gray bar is going to represent the previous year before that. Single-family homes saw a decrease of 3% from 537 to 523. Condos saw a decrease of 8% from 641 to 589, and vacant lots saw a 30% decrease from 178 to 124.
When we break this down more specifically by category, we're looking here at home sales, and now we're breaking it out between Park City and Snyderville Basin. Home sales in the city rose by 12% from 164 sales to 183. That's pretty positive. Now keep in mind that the previous year we had a huge shortage of homes, which brought down the number of sales, not because of a lack of interest, but because of lack of inventory. So we got a little greater inventory, and people are buying this year. Among the Snyderville Basin sales, a drop-off of 9% from 373 to 340.
And here we're looking at condo sales in Park City proper. We had a decrease of 15% from 351 sales to 299. And Snyderville Basin didn't change at all, 290 to 290.
And here we're looking at vacant land, and you'll notice that in Park City there are so few sales, only 19 this past year compared to 30 the year before. But in the Snyderville Basin, where there is a larger inventory, definitely a drop-off, 148 dropped to 105. Some of that was absorbed by the fact there were homes to buy, which there weren't the previous year. But we're running out of inventory, so that causes the drop. So the number of sales are dropping in most categories. Question is, what's happening when it comes to prices? And the good news is it continues to go up, but we are seeing a little bit of wobbling there a little bit. Here we're looking at home medium sold prices, same time period, and instead of seeing the traditional double-digit appreciation that we've seen for so many months, in the city limits it's a 2% increase. Still not bad, but not what we've seen, with the new median price being $1,950,000 and an 8% increase in the Snyderville Basin, climbing from $1,186,240 all the way up to $1,285,000. So prices continue to go up when it comes to single-family homes.
And here we're taking a look at the condo comparison, same time frames. In Park City proper, we did see a 5% decrease from 820,000 to 775,000, and the Snyderville Basin saw a modest increase of 2% from 539,250 to 549,000.
Here we're looking at land, and you recall there weren't that many sales, but it was a nice jump, 9%, all the way up to 1.1 million from the previous 1 million, just slightly over a million. So nice increase there, and substantial 18% increase in the Snyderville Basin. So while the sales went down, the prices went up, climbing from $487,500 to $589,020. So the number of sales are dropping. The sale prices are increasing, and the thing we want to point out to you is that this is not uncommon. We're seeing this in other mountain communities. I want to pull up an article that I pulled out of the Sky High News. Let me show it to you real quickly. Here's an article, Sky High News. So this is out of Colorado, and you'll notice that the headline is Real Estate Transactions Dip at Mountain Resorts During Second Quarter. They're, of course, comparing within their state, and they did it by different regions. But I just want to highlight things here. The decline in those counties, and they name their counties, dipped from 1% to 21% in the second quarter. That's a huge drop-off, and that's substantial. Of course, we're seeing that on a much smaller scale in Utah and in Park City in particular. Then there is, along with that decline, they cite the same thing we do here, and that it comes with an increase in the median price of transactions in most of those counties. So it's not just Park City, it's also in Colorado and other places where we see number of sales dropping, but we see prices increasing. Let's turn our attention to time on the market. Time on the market dropped a little bit. If you're following our webinar, it's now on average 116 days on the market, sometimes faster, sometimes slower. Price it right, that's about how long it would take, a little less than 4 months to sell on average. Compare that to 233 days, double it for time on the market if you price too high, and that's without selling. So it stresses the importance, get it right. You'll probably move your property on average in less than 4 months. Don't get it right, ask too much, you'll be on the market for 8 months and still not have a sale.
Now we're going to jump into what buyers and sellers do before the ski season. Let's take a look at what buyers are doing. Some will want to buy a property now so that they own it before the ski season starts. One of those reasons is so that they could get it ready for their personal use. I have a client right now that just purchased a property. They came out and are getting it ready for their family, who they plan on having, all their kids coming back from college, out here in their new home so they can have a snowy Christmas in Park City. But also another reason is they want to put it into a rental program so that you can maximize the rental income. And what this does is not only are you able to find the property management company that you would prefer to work with, but you also get it on the market, so to speak. So those that are vacationing to Park City during the winter will see it and snag it while it's still available and while they're scheduling those ski trips.
Now, what sellers do before the ski season is they take that opportunity to get their property ready to show while it's vacant. That means they get photos done before the bookings, which is often important because during the ski season, if it's heavily rented, you can't get in and you got to rely upon the photos that have been taken. Also, it's available for those who are doing the pre-season shopping, like Dean just mentioned, that people are out there looking, so that's time to get on the market. So it may feel early for the ski season, but it really isn't. You always want to get the highest price for your property, and you will get it at the beginning of the season or just before the season opens. As time passes on during the ski season, the selling prices tend to drop, and they drop for two main reasons. One, there's less rental income as expected during the ski season, and two,
your days on the market will be longer and buyers will expect to get a larger discount off the list price later in the season, which is very true in the buying process. When you're looking at inventory and days on the market, a lot of the times a property that's been on the market for a longer amount of time has a little bit more wiggle room in that purchase price.
That's true. So you want to find out the current value of your property, and then you can decide if this is the right time to sell during this upcoming ski season. To help you with that, we will provide you with a free property value assessment where we get into your property, take a look at it, give you data about recent sales that are relevant, and then you can decide if this is the right time to sell or not. Let's take a look at BuyParkCity.com, and I'll show you how you can find out what your property is worth. There's two ways you can do it. One is simply select what's my property worth here. If you do, you'll be able to put in your address or your condo name and your unit number here and hit submit, and that will give you a broad idea of what the value of your property is. The other way that you can do it, if you want a more precise answer as to the current value and you want us to tour your property, is go up to selling, click on this, select the same thing, what's my property worth. This time it will take you to a form, let me get out of the way here, where you fill out and it will give you a chance to get a free property value assessment. It's very simple. Simply identify your property either by address or the condo name and unit number. Put in your name and contact information, hit submit, and we'll contact you and provide you with information on the value of your property based upon a detailed analysis.
Okay, so once you've made it to the homepage of our website, BuyParkCity.com, I'm going to jump straight to an advanced search. You can put your basic information in here if you're just starting off. But if you're looking for a more specific advanced search, you just click on the bottom right corner there and you select the criteria. So right here we're going to select Park City, scroll down to Park City. If you're just looking for anything in Park City and a certain price point, we'll start there at $600,000, run it up to $1.5 million. Then you could put if you have a minimum number of bedrooms, many people have 3, so we'll use that here. Don't necessarily have to put max. That's usually going to be regulated with the price points that you're in. If you want newer built properties, that's fine. There's not going to be a whole lot of those in the Park City proper area, however, in that price point, I should say. And then you can add whatever you would like here. If you want a minimum of 2 baths there, square footage minimum. A lot of that stuff not as necessary with the limited inventory, so this should narrow it down pretty good. However, if you are familiar with the different areas already and been looking for a while, within Park City, you could start narrowing it down to, let's say, Old Town. And then if you want to select multiple, like Old Town and Park Meadows, you hold the Control Command if you're on a Mac and click that as well. So now you're going to populate all the properties within $600 and $1.5 million with 3+ bedrooms. That brings you here. It populates everything. To save this search, hit the plus sign there, save this search, type it in. Your search, the frequency, daily is best because you're going to get this daily update every morning of the new properties that meet that. If you prefer not to get it as often, you could do weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Typically, if you're looking for properties, though, you want to keep up to date on a daily basis. Hit save there, and that's it. You'll be updated as the properties come on the market. Now, if you are a little bit more familiar with the different areas, or you'd like to narrow it down, you could always call myself or you could call Jeremy, and we'd be happy to set this up for you. If this is too confusing, or if there's certain subdivisions, let me move my head out of the way. You could select the subdivisions, but we'd be happy to get that set up for you.
So you want to get notified before others so that you'll get the first opportunity to buy the property you want. These daily email notifications are great, but they will not include such things as rental history or expected rental income for the upcoming ski season.
And for that information, just ask and we'll get it to you.
So if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email, ron@thewilsteinteam.com, or
dean@thewilsteinteam.com.
And if you'd like a call back, just include your phone number and the best time for us to give you a ring, and we'll reach out to speak with you. Thank you for taking the time to participate in our webinar and for getting the update on Park City Real Estate.